This is a case that Pushpak sent me that's kind of interesting. Um, as is their method, I have no knowledge of what was done with the case. I'm going to show this through TDO. And these are the x-rays that we took the case when I got it. This is the radiograph Pushpak sent me showing the case. It looked like a grossly necrotic tooth. And when I got the tooth, you could see it was a fused root, which presents problems with sectioning. So I decided to section it horizontally and at least take a very good look at the terminus of the root. So I sectioned it horizontally and then split the tooth sagittally, hoping to get a good look at the dentinal surface. This is the wet specimen, sectioned sagittally. And when we split it, a half of the sagittal section had pulp in it. The other half looked like all the pulp had come out and was just the clear dentinal wall. And when we looked at the dentinal wall, I was very surprised I couldn't find a single bacteria anywhere. I looked everywhere at the terminus and could not find a single bacteria anywhere. I spent about 4 hours thinking I must be missing something. Looked through all of the tissue on both sides of the specimen and there was nothing. This was not an infected tooth at all. I didn't take any pictures because it takes a lot of time to take these pictures. So I have no pictures to show of this, but there was no bacteria whatsoever in this tooth. When I called Pushpak and told him I couldn't find any bacteria at all, he said, I knew it, because when he tested the tooth, it tested perfectly normal to all of the pulp tests. So now I feel a little better about not finding anything. I did take some pictures of the canal area coronal to the apical segment. So this is one area that I looked at. The contralateral side with the pulp tissue in it shows on the right, but when you look at the area where the pulp was just pulled away, you get a pretty good sense, and this is interesting, of what the predentin looks like as it undergoes the mineralization process. So you're basically looking at the layer of predentin here with the vast bulk of the pulp removed, and you get a different sense of how the odontoblast actually forms the mineralized layer. So it's kind of interesting looking at this, and I thought that I'd show it. There were obviously no bacteria here at all, but you get a sense for what an organized process this must be when the odontoblast lays down the predentin. So then I turned the specimen over and looked at the PDL side, thinking maybe it was just simply a perio problem, although there wasn't a fracture in this tooth that I could detect. And when you go in and look at the PDL side of the root, you get a little bit different picture. And fortunately, we have some experience in looking at cementum, so we have a sense of what a normal cementum looks like. And when you go in, you do see normal cementum, but you also see bacterial morphotypes on the cementum. The cementum, as it mineralizes and demineralizes, can look very similar to a biofilm, so you have to be careful. But because we've looked at quite a bit of cementum now, we can kind of distinguish where there's a biofilm and where there's just mineralizing and demineralizing cementum. So when you go into these areas, I believe what you see is a picture of a fairly extensive biofilm on the PDL side of the ligament. So I thought this was interesting and that you'd enjoy seeing it.